of you know, my name is Kavina Nakimala. I am a senior here and I'm a bio major, and I will be your mistress of ceremony for the event.
I guess I don't have to say good evening again. My name is Mohammed Hussein. I'm a senior, graduating this May. I'm from Somalia. My major is international business and the MIS. We want to thank each of you for coming out to share in this the 9th annual Pan-African celebration.
We know you're going to have a good time and hopefully our meal will be ready.
I want to present you to Anthony Sheridan, the current chaplain, elect of the Pan-Afrikan Student Union for invocation.
Hello again. Yeah, I wasn't really planning on coming up here. Trina called and left me a message, and I haven't returned it. But my name is Tony, and I just want to thank y'all again for coming. And this is Robert Jones. He's gonna help me with the prayer. We're about to have a meal together, so I just ask that we all can bow our heads and bless the food. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank everybody for coming here today. We thank you for a wonderful year and for everyone who has been involved with PASU this year. We thank you for the people who have stepping up, the officers, for Trina. And we just thank you for a wonderful year. We thank you for the food we're about to eat, and we just thank you, Lord. Amen.
Can we all please stand and sing, lift every voice and sing.
Neither one of us can sing, so. Okay. So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary
which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the slaughter. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white flame of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alana Carter. We have another request. If you could stand up again. We need to say the African pledge.
All right.
You guys have it.
We will remember the humanity, glory, and sufferings of our ancestors, and honor the struggle of our elders. We will strive to bring new values and new life to our people. We will have peace and harmony among us. We will be loving, sharing, and creating. We will work, study, and listen, so we may learn so we may teach. We will cultivate self-reliance. We will struggle to resurrect and unify our homeland. We will raise many children for our nation. We will have discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will lead as models to provide a new direction for our people. We will be free and self-determined. We are African people. We will win.
And now I would like to call Ms. Tanil Russ up to welcome us.
Well, good evening, everyone. I just want to welcome you from all the Pan-African students here, the officers, the director of the Pan-African Center, Trina Bolden, and of course, we welcome the spirit of Miss Anita. Please enjoy fellowship together and have a wonderful time.
I'll be reciting our statement of occasion now. We are here to remember those who came before us. We are here to recall the gifts given to us. We are here to recollect the days we thought were difficult. We are here to relive the joys and victories of our past. We are here to reminisce with those we shared our memories with. In May of 1968, the Black community gathered together in the courtyard below to let Augsburg Knowledge know the need to support students of African descent. They called it One Day in May. This gathering had a very serious tone. It stressed the need for Augsburg College community to be informed of the great and expansive history of the African people. Through the years, where so many Black students have to come through these buildings and hallways, we need to remember the sacrifices. We must remember the times when there were not scholarships and grants. We must recall that those who were before us opened doors for opportunities that we take for granted today. We must recollect that our predecessors made it possible for us to make it through our difficult times. We must relive the times we shouted, laughed, and reminisced about the tender moments we cried, hugged, and supported one another. We're here to commemorate those who have been successful. We are here to honor those who have achieved. We are here to uplift those who have accomplished. We are here to celebrate ourselves as African people. Thank you. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, dinner time. So go ahead and help yourselves, and I don't know who wants to go first. Oh yeah, in our great African tradition, our elders will go first. So if you're an elder, in this case, Miss LaJune Lane, Judge LaJune Lane, thank you so much. Okay, so now that they've gone, we're going to start over here. Sorry. Okay, fine. Whoever wants to go, just go.
Hello, I got my phone. How are you doing?
My name is Kate.
Oh no, it's on film, so that they can know we're. I'm gonna sell your place. I know we can do better. Even Mo's probably Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe put my foot in my mouth. So it's your real, it's your middle name. That's what's on your birth certificate. But it came as a nickname to your grandfather. Your dad, your grandfather gave that name. So your dad goes by it, but you have it. So now the second question here is, wait a minute. So that guy out of here. Big sister, how old is she? Body parts can you order? How old are you?
Hey everybody. Yeah, excited to stay here for a bit. So,
One for each hand to now.
And it's all about trying to ball. See,
Right now. All right.
Excuse me. Can I have your tissue, please? How's the food? You guys like it? Oh, yeah. Compliments of Trainer. I love the sweet balls, by the way. And the chef and the dinner downstairs. I just want to take this time to introduce Clarissa Abadi, sorry. She's a junior majoring in business management, and she'll be sharing some poetry with us this time.
First, I just want to thank God for the opportunity and Ms. Train Bolton for the opportunity to share a couple of my points with you guys tonight. Powers. I've heard about the white power. I'm even familiar with black power. But I want to talk about human power. Power given to us by a higher power. God ordained the world in the matter of hours. He redefined man, then woman, not as powers, not in degrees of color. Just the thought makes him sour. For God created the land for man and for woman. Man created color lines, and that was being a coward, to justify the mistreatment of others, and to characterize people only in colors, refusing to acknowledge them as brothers, using God's name to smother one race, one mother, to take over the earth, God's place. They call themselves lovers, calling themselves my Christian brothers, covered in sheets just like my mother's, refusing the work of others. I heard about this white power, rooted in my bloodline, cowards of my mother's time, murderers of a different kind, defending what was truly mine, black power, freely defined. Not hanging from crosses to find, too deep to hold, beneath my ancestors' soul. Black power, standing, trying, big and bold. I heard about this white power. My mother and father journeyed for hours on ships chartered by cowards, too lazy to build their own towers. Huh, what a power. White covered with the carriage at night, with crosses of fright. What power did they claim that burned so bright? White lies raping what was right, killing black power, not acknowledging my human rights. To choose my love, my life, my right to live without strife, my right to choose what fight. I heard about the ruler of the black power and the controller of the white power. I've even heard about the creator of the human power. The greatest of them all is God, the highest power. The man of the hour, the creator of man and woman, the chief of tribes not yet formed, God, the awesome power, the ruler of this land and yours, the strength in everyone's weakest hour. God, the ultimate power, redefining white and black power, overseeing the human power. My God, the superior power. One more. The particular tree. Listen to the sound of this particular tree. Voices of my ancestors singing free. Leaves and trees of mysteries. Unusual fertilizer simulates this tree. Gardeners and landscapers, men of mystery. Unusual fruit clinging for all to see. A ghost of guests harvesting this fruit of the mysterious tree. Black men, white men tend to believe differences of this tree, rooted in the blood of my ancestry. Strong branches enslave my past reality. Listen to the sound of this tree. Roped in my personality, limbs of people you see. There's tattoos of slavery that haunt this particular tree. My great-great-grandmother hung from this tree. The sounds of freedom seem to miss me. Walk past its branches and leaves and remember the wounds that stimulates the hatred. The process of understanding is clear. My people were slaves and they hung from this particular tree.
Thank you, Teresa, for sharing. I want to introduce Jamar, who was supposed to be here a little bit earlier, but it's all right. Jamar is going to introduce Judge Lane, and then we'll proceed with our function. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. I want to introduce Judge Lane. Judge Lane is a state trial judge serving on the 4th Judicial Court in Hennepin County. She is a graduate of the University of Minnesota Law School and Augsburg College. Currently a clinical professor at William Mitchell College of Law, teaching international human rights and civil rights. Judge Lane is a lecturer nationally and internationally in the area of women's rights, African American issues, government corruption, and comparative legal systems. And I'm very nervous reading big, long paragraphs in front of people. Just have fun, you guys know. As I was saying, Judge Lane has served on the boards of the Minnesota International Center and the Minnesota Advocates of Human Rights. Judge Lane is currently devoting her time to the International Leadership Institute, establishing programs and providing technical assistance in Africa and other regions in transition. Please join us in me in welcoming Judge Lane.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone and to thank Ms. Bolden for the invitation and all the students, and also just to congratulate you in all your achievements and for you to continue to aspire to greatness. And I wanted to talk to you this evening about leadership and how to achieve phenomenal leadership. And one of the key components to leadership that we teach through the International Leadership Institute is how to be a servant leader. A servant leader is someone who works without seeking accolades and does the job because it needs to be done. A servant leader is a person who knows how to stand in the gap and to work in partnership with other people for the collective good. A servant leader is also someone who's a critical thinker and who doesn't hesitate to ask questions about direction and seeking guidance. And a servant leader is someone who is spirit-led and who depends on God's guidance and approval for that leadership. And we do not train the kinds of leaders that you see on Fox News, the positional leader who's there to give the soundbite, who's there to create the facade. We are people who try to lead from the heart. And so the longest trip in the world is from the brain to the heart. And that's why many times people don't necessarily have a sincere commitment. And that's why people have to be known by their fruits. So when you're asked to join something or be involved with something or support a cause or approve something, look around and find out what that organization or individual or entity has done in the past, how they treated people when they've had the opportunity away from the headlines to respond, how they cared for people who didn't have a voice, how they reacted when there wasn't the glare of the press. So it's very important to look at the fruits of the individual, the fruits of the organization, when you make those critical choices in your life. We also believe through the International Leadership Institute that one person can in fact make a difference. I think many times you can remember an afternoon or a morning that you were sitting outside or walking to class and you heard one solitary bird sing a well-composed song. That bird got your attention. That bird was smaller than any person could imagine themselves being, with a voice that isn't as strong as any human. But that bird could echo and get the attention of a lot of people over a period of time, and the respect. And so we look at examples in nature and examples in life of how to be that clear voice, how to be that well thought out voice, and how to stand in the gap and reach out. The International Leadership Institute works on civic education programs in the Twin Cities, also works on civic education programs in Africa. We also have formed partnerships with people who are interested in working on the ground in the Middle East, and also with people who are working in India and other parts of Asia. We have HIV education programs, both the local immigrant population and African American population in the Twin Cities, as well as international. And one of the things that you learn from being a servant leader is that you learn you don't have all the answers. You learn that you can learn from other people, and you also learn that there is a mutual respect that's required for anyone to work with anyone else. And so you learn the importance of the partnership, and you learn the importance of waiting for someone that you're working with to formulate their own ideas about their future. You don't impose your future on another community or another people. And so you build relationships and you understand how they live and how they think. And then you learn something about yourself. Now, the young lady who read the profound poetry was a person who had the opportunity to have an experience outside herself and then be able to relate it to the group. When we live in America and we're confined to the North American continent, we become very myopic. And we think that, first of all, that we're the only ones who sing America. And then you travel down to Brazil and you travel to other places and you see brothers and sisters who look like each person in this room. And they too are Americans. And they too sing America. And you find that the Brazilian population has the largest group of Africans outside of the African continent. And you say, how'd that happen? And then you start digging in your history books and you say, well, slaves were imported to Brazil just like they were imported to America. And then you find out a little more and you say, slave plantations went from Alabama down to Brazil to continue slavery. That's not taught in school. But you find out all kinds of things when you step off the continent, travel around and meet other people and see other things. And so one of the things that I had the opportunity to do in 1994 was to travel to the African continent for the first time. And I traveled by Northwest Airlines. And I went from Minneapolis to Amsterdam, and then it's like 5 or 6 hours in Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam to Nairobi. And for a person who'd only flown to Kansas City, a 23-hour plane ride was incredible. So I'm like in my hotel room, I'm complaining about how tired I am, and I've got all these speeches to give. And like, I mean, why does it take so long to go to Africa? Then a voice inside my head, as loud as my father's voice, said, try it in the bottom of a boat. My attitude changed right away. I was so blessed to be able to fly back to my home that my ancestors had been ripped from in an airplane. And you think of all those African stories about on the wings of eagles that we would fly, and you see yourself going back to the motherland on those wings. And so you form an appreciation, but you form a deeper understanding about who you are and where you came from. And so one of the things the international leadership does with students and with people of multiple generations is that we have expeditional leadership opportunities. So we have been taking students every year since 1998, students and adults, to Africa for meaningful experiences working with and learning from people who are just basically everyday people, their peers in Africa. They have the opportunity to stay in homes, to eat food, to debunk all these mysteries, and everybody's like, well, this tastes like my grandmother's chicken. Well, yeah, you know why it tastes like your grandmother's chicken. Or this fish tastes like, you know, the way my dad would prepare fish. Or this salad looks just like the salad we'd have at our house. Well, yeah. And so you find out that a lot of things that you were told that were lost about your culture aren't lost, that they're repeated every day in every generation at the family dinner table, and you just didn't know it because we believe the hype. We also find that there are many oral historians in Africa who are willing to talk to people with a little bit of interest. But we also find that people reserve information for those who are deemed worthy to impart the information. So people just don't run off at the mouth with really good information until they determine that you're ready. And it may take 3 or 4 years and a number of consistent visits until you get information. And one of the things that was just phenomenal that I learned in Kenya, which has a part called the Rift Valley. And the Rift Valley is one of those indentations that all the geography students understand. But it goes from the Dead Sea down to Zimbabwe. And they told us through one of the oral historians that the Queen of Sheba came from that region. And they told us about these great trees in the Rift Valley that made the redwoods seem like shrimp, and how these trees were cut and taken for the temple in Jerusalem. And you just sit there and you just are in awe about the information. And you learn a lot. You can go back and you can research things that you learn, and you find consistencies with the information, and you're just amazed. And so you go to Ethiopia, and one of the women who's involved with the Institute is familiar with the churches that are hewn out of rocks in the mountains that are designed to be seen only from airplanes with crosses on the tops in the mountains. And there's only certain types of access and knowledge to get to these churches. And you see all the brilliance of the culture and the brilliance of the architecture. I was at a meeting between the Rotary of Ethiopia and the Rotary of Cairo, Egypt, and the Ethiopians were giving the Egyptians a lecture on their own history, saying that the architecture for the pyramids and all these other things came from Ethiopia, and that they would not be the great civilization that they were considered without the architecture and the know-how and the expertise from Ethiopia. So when my daughter was in the 5th grade, she was studying Egypt. And in her school, which I paid a lot of money for her to go to, they were told that the Egyptians were white people. And I told her teacher, I said, you know, I think I'm going to take my daughter out of this class and take her to Egypt with me. And because I had that chance to lecture in Africa and take her along. So I took her out of class at the age of 10 and took her on her first trip to Africa. And we arranged for male escorts because in an Islamic society, 2 women or a woman and a girl just don't run around here and yon by ourselves. So one of the things you learn to be a leader is to respect the culture of other people. So we arranged for male escorts to accompany us on this trip. And we went to the Cairo Museum and saw the things that had been extracted from the tombs of the kings and queens of Egypt. And we saw the gold mask of Tutankhamun with all the intricate art, things that can't be replicated even on Park Avenue in New York today. And then they showed us, because we also secured some black Egyptologists to tell us about the various artifacts. And so they took us to the rooms where all the statues with the noses on were. Because I think you notice that most of the things that come to the United States, the noses have just kind of dropped up, lopped up, whatever. And so you could see the full features and the cornrows and the hair and all kinds of things that were just really worth the price of admission to see in person. And the statues of men and women in these rooms. They also had pictures of King Tut's tomb when it was first opened. And they had these 2 statues that were black as coal that were on either side. There were twin statues on either side of King Tut, of the coffin. And I said, who's that? And they said, that's King Tut. I said, huh? They said, that's King Tut. And he said, the foot in a certain way is a royal pose. It is not a slave pose, it's a royal pose. And these were the statues that King Tut commissioned of himself. And so to have these 2 beautiful black statues by a king who could carve himself in any color stone he wanted to carve was a profound statement, a profound statement. We also went to Aswan, and we went to further south into Egypt, Luxor, to see the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, and for my daughter to see how the people in Egypt looked. And you have Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, and you have all kinds of things that are still not well understood by many people. We also had the opportunity to see the Great Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe, a beautiful stone structure that is carved with such precision that even today you cannot take a piece of paper and put it in between the stones, which are not sealed with any mortar at all. And so there's just a lot of richness all over the world that have been left by very thoughtful people that you should have the opportunity to explore. You should consider the planet your planet and not anybody else's, and be able to challenge yourself to go see things. I would also encourage you to see a movie called Rabbit Proof Fence. It's at the Parkway. And Rabbit Proof Fence is a story about Aborigine children who had a little bit of white blood. And so the good English government that was established in Australia determined that based on the color of their skin, that they were a little more fair than the Aborigines, that they should be taken from their families and put into orphanages and anglicized. And so rabbit-proof fence is a very, very, very important mirror for everybody who has been colonized by the English to understand in terms of racism and color. And so I would encourage you to see rabbit-proof fence, and I would also encourage you to go down to Australia and sit and chat with the Aborigine people and hear their story and hear how many parallels there are to the situations that we go through. As my girlfriend says, the same formula. And so you want to be able to understand these things in a global context, just not isolated here in the Twin Cities. And it'll give you a richer understanding, it'll make you more connected to people, and give you more allies in the things that interest you. I encourage all of you students to get involved with the travels abroad. And there's always the issue of money. So there's a lot of ways that you can get scholarships to travel abroad. There's scholarships through the college. There's also scholarships through the University of Minnesota Human Rights Center. And there are scholarships in other places. It's just a matter of letting Trina know, like at least 6 months ahead, that you'd like to go someplace and have a serious idea of what you'd like to do. And then we can work and put our heads together to try to find the funding for you to do it. And you can do independent study, you can do research. There's a lot of different ways that you can travel. And so a lot of times we're so focused on getting through and getting outside that we forget those research opportunities where you can do field research in a foreign country and be able to have funding to go back and forth a number of times. And so one of the things that I would ask you to do and encourage you to do to continue to be that phenomenal group of students is to be critical thinkers. As one of my friends from Trinidad said, if someone says that a bird came by and stole your ear, do you run down the street or do you touch your head first and check it out for yourself? And a lot of times we're running down the street without checking anything out. So we have to learn to be critical thinkers and think things through. We also have to do some planning and some praying so that we understand the direction that we're going and whose will we're serving. And so I would encourage all of you to just, reach beyond yourselves, find that job that'll pay those student loans, but keep your passions alive to be able to work with the International Leadership Institute or similar organizations that have a global focus. And thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Judge Lejeune. I appreciate it. At this time, I would like you guys to help me welcome Alana Carter back up here. We heard Alana singing with us earlier, but Terry wasn't singing. Now she's going to come and play the piano for us. So thank you, Alana.
Let's give Robert a hand.
It's Bobby, so.
leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes the silence can seem so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first I know it starts inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
Thank you, Elena. That was just inspirational. I feel like flying now. At this time, I will invite Trina Bolden up to begin our awards ceremony.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening and being here. Also to the many students and the student leaders who helped with this event, and I'm going to get into all those details with you at this time. I have a couple corrections to the program and a few students who are ready to beat me up over the program, but that's okay because I still love them. On the program, we have Brooklyn Mays, who is a graduate, 2003. She'll be graduating this spring, and her name was mistakenly left off the list, but we want to have her stand and recognize her as a 2003 graduate. Also, I'm not so sure if Metek is still here. Metek graduated in the fall, correct? And she is going to, you walked last spring, but she's a graduate as well, so let's give her a round. And also Muhammad Essa, he's on the program. He's listed as Week in College because that's what we had him listed as, but he's a day student, so he should be listed as day program, Muhammad Essa.
Oh.
Now, before I get into deep into these awards, I have to thank Ms. Tanil Russ. A couple months ago, or told me a couple months, Trina, whatever you need, I'm gonna be there to help. She's been telling me this all year, but she said, for sure for the Pan-Afrikan Center, whatever you need, I'm gonna be there to help. So she kept calling me, Trina, what do you need? I'll be there, let me know. Well, this darling Miss Tanil Russ went and picked out the gifts, made the baskets for me. She came here and bought the sign-in sheet and everything for me, got Shira set up to do this. She helped out tremendously, and I really appreciate. Tanil has been stepping in there all year. She stepped in the beginning of the year and helped us out when we had a co-chair mishap, and I really appreciate her for being here and doing that. She was here all year, representing well, and so I just have to say thank you to Tanil. Now, and also Miss Kavina, today she came by. She did a lot of work for me today, and I appreciate that. Yes, you did. And she's trying to tell me no, but she screams and tells me no, don't recognize her. But yes, thank you, Miss Kavina, for everything. And now, without further ado, I'm going to get into this. Judge Lejeune Lane, thank you very much for speaking. I really appreciate you. Talked about there's always a one. One can make a difference. And many of you have stepped up to the plate this year to make a difference in the lives of others within the Pan-Afrikan Center, within your classes, when there's been, if there has been a faculty or some student or partner of yours who may not have understood you or your culture or where you've come from, but I've heard a lot of you tell me what you have stood up to do, and you all have made a difference in the lives of others in Augsburg College, and my life being here. That's also my first year of director of the Pan-Afrikan Center, so thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to start off with our academic awards because those to me are very, very important. You're here to go to school. You're here to graduate. And those who come here and make a mark, you know, we have to recognize that. We're recognizing all of you for all of the great achievements you have done over the years. So I'm going to start by recognizing those who are on the Dean's List, fall of 2002. And as I announce your name, please stand. And I would like you to come up and receive a certificate from me. And then we can applaud as you may. You know, people always say, please wait till the end, but hey, you feel like clap and clap. Okay, that's what this is about. So please do that. I want to start off, Miss Jaslyn. I talked to Jaslyn. She told me she might not be able to make it, but Jaslyn Birch, she made the Dean's List this year, so let's give her a round of applause. Richard Dickerson, he made the Dean's List. Kimi Hawkins, Kimi made the Dean's List. Miss Kimi. Congratulations. Also, Ofe Jones, Miss Ofe. We may have you all come back up here and take a picture with everybody, okay? Valerie Jones. Valerie. Desiree. Desiree Ferguson. I'm going to also recognize Desiree also at this point because she was an honors program student as well. So. Abraham Kamara. Idella Land. Michelle Manning. Angelique Sayers. Enoch Zane. Dorian Waynewood. All of these students were on the Dean's List for fall 2002, so thank you very much. Okay. Picture, please. Dean's List students, picture, please. Come on up here.
Top front.
Come on. Come on. Dorian, come on.
Some of us will have to be down there.
I'm not the one on the Dean's List. Okay. I also, with the honorable mention, I have them in a program listed. We have many students who were honorable mentioned as having a 3.0 GPA or above. And I have 40 students listed according to my records. And so those of you who are here, who are a part of the honorable mention list, who know you had a 3.0 or better this year, would you please stand and let us recognize you at this moment? And for those of you who are here, which are Muhammad Hussein, Matthew Shannon, Natika Lynham, Asha Pierre, let me make sure I have all these right. Yes, Barbara Fountain Mason. Thank you. Hannah. Hannah's right here. Yes. Hannah as well. Audra Johnson. And I said Natika Lynham. And am I missing any of you? Metek. So there you are. Now I'm going to move to the athletic awards. We have many students who are involved on campus athletically as well as academically, and I would like to honor those students at this time. I'm going to start off with football, and I'm going to read their names, and if you're here, please come up and receive your certificate I have here. Okay, so I'm going to start with football, and Yarzu Sloan, Major Williams, Matthew Shannon, because I'm gonna stay right there. I'm gonna stay right there. I'm gonna have Charles Freeman, Pierre Cohen, and Abdi Adan. Please come up. These two were a part of football for fall 2002. Next, we'll move to wrestling. And I'm not for sure if the wrestling stars are here, but I'm going to announce their names. We have Jeremiah Dawson, Marcus Levesser, and Jamel Tidwell.
There's also another wrestler named Pierre. That's also.
Pierre just joined?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we're going to move to men's basketball. And I have Jonathan Golson, Marcus Golson, Yarzu Sloan, Damon Fontran, and Anthony Shodden.
Hey.
You should get a half. I'm gonna have to recognize you anyhow for being a part, for starting out and being a part. So that's a big thing. Thank you very much, Anthony. I'm sorry, I keep pulling around my house. Next, I would like to recognize the women's basketball, and our women's basketball stars are here. And so if you know that you've been a part of this program, you've been a part of the program, okay? You started, and that's what I'm recognizing you for being a part. So I'm going to have Miss Alana Carter, Miss Shayna Steele, come and be recognized for their basketball involvement. Now for baseball, we have Jonathan Golson, and cross country for Anthony Shodden.
That was also
It's okay, it's okay. Thank you, Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
Boy, thank you for Anthony. Now we're going to move to track and field. Track and field has done some great work this year. We've had some very, very good runners. We have Miss Tanisha Bell, who is MIAC Athlete of the Week for how many weeks in a row? About how much? 2, 3, 4? And then she went to nationals and placed fourth. With her ability, she's been placing Augsburg on the map. So thank you very much, Ms. Tanisha. Track and field also, we have Miss Alana Carter. This woman, she told me, hey, I'm fast, and I can run, and I'm gonna place. And she's been doing very good in her meets and things that she's done. So I would like to say thank you, Miss Alana, and I think I have yours mixed in, and then we'll get that to you. We have also on our list Mr. Stephen Floyd. We have Ray McCoy as well.
Yeah.
And I have Matthew Shannon. We had somebody else separate these for me, and so they're all mixed up. So I'm gonna have to give you yours. It's in here somewhere. We're gonna move to volleyball. I'll have it right after we're done here because it's all together bunched in. Volleyball is Jessica Howard. Soccer, Miss Jaslyn Birch. And I'm going to move on to student activities.
We also had a couple people on the record back in the speech team. And I was debating, Miss B, she got it. I'm trying to keep it cool first, so y'all help me.
You know, I have to say something about my students. Thank you very much, Robert, for doing this. There was a whole letter and a whole information I sent out to please reply to me and tell me everything you've been involved in. How many did I get back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't get one. So then they tell me that. I saw your name on the little stick, so I know. I saw, because I looked at it, so. Yes, but thank you, Robert. If there's anything else, you stand up and let me know.
You have a really nice scar.
Thank you. Thank you to Miss Kavina and Miss Tanil. They hooked me up. Okay. Now we're going to move on to student activities. Who've been involved? I'm going to name some things off, and then I'm going to be handing out awards for those who have been a part of the Pan-Afrikan Center and Pan-Afrikan Student Union. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Matthew Shannon. Pan-African Student Leadership Conference, and if you all could please stand, you all represent well. Look, Ms. Tanel Russ, Jada Ali. There are some who were a part in the Residence Life staff, and whatever role you played, I'm still recognizing you as being a part. We have Jamar Esau, Dega Ali, Anthony Shannon, and Amy Jones. Our McNair Scholars, Marka Terry, Desiree Jorgensen, Tanisha Williams. Scholastic Connections, which I am very proud of, Miss Asha here, and Mr. Matthew Shannon. I would like to now move to our next part of the program, which is recognizing our Pan-African Student Union and Pan-African Student Center members. I believe they are listed in the program, and I'm going to call them out as names, and if you're here, please come up and get your certificate. Theodore Austin, Kelly Avent, Ida Aleyu, Demetria Bean,
Tom.
I want you to come get your certificate. Yes, please. Come get your certificate as I call your name. Tanisha Bell. Ethiopia Bintu. Robert Brown III. Jaslyn Birch. Naila Butler, Alana Carter, Kateso Chiri, Martha Chiri, okay, Pierre Cohen, Chevelle Cox, Kelly Currington, Binyam Daniel, Jeremiah Dawson, Jamar Esau, Mohammed Essa,
Hey.
Stephen Floyd, Damon Fondren, Charles Freeman, Asha Greer, Jonathan Golson, Marcus Golson, Keela Gibson, Keosha Greenlaw, Anna Habtierian, Marzel Harris, Kimmy Hawkins, Jessica Howard, Mohammed Hussein, Nick Ivory, Abby Johnson, Audra Johnson, Amy Jones, Faye Jones, Robert Jones III, Desiree, Abraham Kumara, George Convari, Marcus Lavesta, Alicia Lockhart, Latika Lynam, Evan McCooley, Renee Mayberry, Brooklyn, Maine, Ray McCoy, Eddie Mendez, Adrian Morris, Kavina Nakawala. Is Johnny there? Johnny over? Okay, Johnny. Ashley O. Anthony Porter. Okay. Vero Racato. Joffrey Reed. Tamil Russ. Anthony Shotters. Jody Scroggins. Matthew Shannon. Yardi Sloan. Jamie Smith. She's still here. He must have stepped out. Shayna Steele. Michael Stevenson. Hello. Mijak. Testament. Sophia Thompson. Janelle Tidwell. Josie. Villa. Tanisha Williams. Major Williams. Simona Williams. Tanisha Williams. All of these students have been a part of the Pan-African Center, Pan-African Student Union in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and have done wonderful work. Next, I'm moving to our big awards for the year. And I do have a surprise for all of the past Pan-African student members, because we're going to find out who made office for next year tonight, as everybody's going to find out tonight. So we will be letting you all know those. I have some specific awards to give and some gifts to give for those who's done just wonderful work today. So please bear with me, and I'm going to call them out. Listed on your program, you have those Pan-African student members who have been considered part of something for the year. Pan-African students of the year are Demetria Bean. Please come up. Robert Brown III. what it says. It says, Pan-African Student of the Year presented to Tamitra Bean, Wednesday, April 16, 2003, for service in support of Pan-Africanism at Augsburg College. Even though this child tells me every day she's Mexican, but I'm just going to do it to her anyway. In loving memory of Emanita Gay Hawthorne, whose spirit and vision ever inhabits us, from the Pan-African Center, Augsburg College. I'm going to do the Ambassador Awards of the Year. That goes to Ms. Shayna Steele and Mohammed Hussein. The Pan-African Ambassador Award is presented to these two on this day because for representing Pan-Africanism throughout the Augsburg community. And this is presented in loving memory of Emanita Gay Hawthorne and whose spirit and vision ever inhabits us. Muhammad, I told him, I asked him, I just have to say it that way because long space, you can see how much work he's done over his years here at Augsburg College in representing Pan-Africanism and everything that he does. Management information systems major along with business administration and international business. He does wonderful work. He has helped out every month for our Pan-African cultural series. Muhammad is the one running the camera. Muhammad is the one running the PowerPoint presentation. But Muhammad is the one stepping up and being asked, hey Muhammad, this is my presentation, but I want you to do a paragraph or two. And he go on and do a paragraph or two and talk about somebody else's culture. So he's been representing Pan-Africanism within the Pan-Afrikan Student Union, Pan-Afrikan Center, as well as in his classes and where you work, because I know what you tell me of what you do, and I really appreciate that. And I asked him one day, I said, can I call you Mr. Pan-Africanist? He says, yes. So this is a Ambassador Award to Muhammad for being Mr. Pan-Africanist here at Augsburg. Shayna Steele, freshman here at Augsburg College. This girl has made some waves already. She's rippling. They're just rippling. So picking up a few people outside that circle and keep reaching and keep reaching. What can I say about Shayna? She stepped up big time in helping out this year with the Pan-Afrikan Student Union. I asked her and Bobby to work on a specific event, a music night for students. They put this program together. Shayna did the program. Shayna was the MC. Shayna did such a wonderful job with that program and working with Bobby. And from what I saw that night, I thought, this is something. And she did a lot this year, stepping and saying a lot in meetings that we have, saying, hey, I don't think this is right, and this is what I'm going to do about it. And so she's been doing those things and really appreciate it. So Ms. Shayna Steele, she's take a picture. Wait. Take a picture. Boy, I'm going to try to speed this up. Next, we have Ms. Kavina Nakawala receiving the Emanita Gay Hawthorne Service Award for senior. This award says, Emanita Gay Hawthorne Service Award presented to Kavina Nakawala Wednesday, April 16, 2003, for 4 years of outstanding contribution to Pan-Africanism at Augsburg College. In loving memory of Emanita Gay Hawthorne, whose spirit and vision ever inhabits us here at Pan-Afrikan Center, Augsburg College. in our years and at times has faced trials and tribulations in what we do. Yet this woman stands up in the midst of that with dignity and integrity, and it represents who she is and what she stands for very well. Represents the Pan-Afrikan Student Union very well. In meetings and things that you have. Kavina at times is the only person going to those meetings. And when she's in those meetings at times, she has to stand up for what she believes in and the organization that she's representing, which she's representing Pan-Afrikan Student Union as a whole in what she does. And she just has a beautiful spirit which shows up every time. Even in our leadership meetings, if something isn't right, Kavina is another one, oh, no, this is what I think it should be. And I am very appreciative of that and the integrity and dignity that she walks with. Also, I have to say this, and I'm going to have to say this about Bobby too. Yes, I do. Miss Kavina was well, I'm thinking 2003. You're right, she took it 2003 in February. My mind is going back. She is the reigning Miss Pan-African. She's a queen. But she represented so very well at the conference this year, and all of it is encompassed in what you're receiving today. And she's just special. So, Ms. Kavina. I'm looking at all of these bags, and I think I'm going to call Tanil up, and wait 1 second. I'm going to call Tanil up, and then I'm going to have the rest of you come up, and we'll pass out gifts, and then we'll do the benediction. But Ms. Tanil, please come up here, please. I'm going to have to go through and find, but Ms. Tanil has a gift from me. And thank you. But I have to say these things about Ms. Tanil Russ. What I said earlier, everything, she's been there this whole year helping out, helping to pull people together for meetings. Hey, we're going to this event, we're doing this, and you should be here at this and this time. So Ms. Tanil has done wonderful work for Pan-Afrikan Student Union this year, for the Pan-African Center this year. She's also graduating and walking, which is very exciting, and very proud of her, majoring sociology, crime, and community. But Tanil has done such wonderful work this year for Pan-Afrikan Student Union and helping out, with tonight. So I really appreciate you, and I want to thank you for everything you've done and for being here and representing Augsburg College. I got a couple things for her. One is probably still sitting there, but we started to wrap it and make it. I'm going to give this to you. I'm serious. I'm going to give this to you. Give this to you, and keep it. We really thought about what we're going to do, and this is for you. And before you go, come see me, because there's 2 other things that I need to give you, okay? Okay, so I'm going to give these students, for you student leaders who I blessed tonight, please remain. And as well as, I would like Ms. Brooklyn Maine to come up here too. Brooklyn. Josie and Obey, I'm going to get you 2 next too. Sarah was like, why? Josie and Obey worked very hard every day. Ms. Brooklyn, come stand here, please. Brooklyn has been involved with the Pan-Afrikan Student Union since her freshman year. A lot of times she would try to hide in the background, say, I don't want to do that. But this girl will be the one making calls, will be the one sitting at the front desk signing in people, will be the one going around and helping people with their issues. This is Brooklyn, Maine. Would get phone calls, residents live staff. I mean, she did a lot. And also for the Pan-Afrikan Student Union. She was an officer for 2 years straight, is that correct? You did 1 full year. 1 full year as an officer for Pan-Afrikan Student Union, but she was in the office all the time, like she was an officer every day, you know, so she worked it out and very supportive. She would tell the leadership and the officers every year, whatever y'all need, just let me know, I'll be there and I'll do it. And so this has been Brooklyn, Maine, and this girl is graduating this year, leaving. She's been telling me, you know, some people I'm trying to pull up with me. You pull them all up with you because she's been doing wonderful work, and I would like to recognize Brooklyn, Maine as well. And next, I'm going to have to say to my two student workers, Ms. Ofe and Ms. Josie, please stand. They come in my office a lot of times and give work to life. Work to overtime, and they come and help me out quite a bit. And there's a lot of times I'm sitting there in the midst of working, okay, just let me just work it out. She'll do something, and it'll be worked out, and it'll work out fine. They make errands for me, they make calls for me, they get you all's things together and help me contact you when I need to contact you. So I appreciate Josie and also Ofe for everything they've done for Pan-Afrikan Student Union and the Pan-Afrikan Center this year. Thank you. There are many things that I could continue to say, but I know the hour is getting late. So those of you who have stood up tonight and been recognized, please come see me after the program. Those Pan-Afrikan Student Union members who are here, please come see me after the program. I have a parting gift for you. Thank you, Ms. Tennille, for helping me out so much with that. I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to all of you for everything you've done and for being here and joining us this evening. It's been my first year, and it's been a busy year. And I don't know when I'll ever wind down, but I'm going to keep going. And I want to thank you all for being there and helping me out every year. Oh, I almost forgot the PASU officers. You're like, oh, okay. When I call your name, please come up. Only Bobby and Kavina and I know they tied my hands to Sharon told me I couldn't tell nobody, couldn't call nobody. So I had to keep it a secret until today. So I'm going to start off with public relations, and then I'm going to work my way on up. Public Relations Officer-elect for 2003-2004 is Robert Jones III. Please stay. Please stay. You gonna take this with you, right? You keeping it? Okay. Okay. Treasurer, 2003 and 2004, Hannah. Secretary for 2003-2004, Audra Johnson. Chaplain for 2003-2004, Anthony Shadden. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, I have 2 more to go. And then we have a special elect chair that we're going to put somebody to work in. Okay. And for co-chair, commissioner for 2003-2004, and this says a lot about this person and what they are. Remember, when I say the name, remember what I announced about this person, but Shay Steele. there and representing like this. It says a lot about who you are and what Pan-Afrikan Student Union thinks about you, and as well as all of you who have been elected. Okay. Co-chair, presider, 2003-2004 for Pan-Afrikan Student Union. Thank you. Stephen Floyd. Please come on up here. Now, as you know, I'm so happy to have these up. Please give them all a round of applause. This year's officers will tell you, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work hard. Yet, for you to be in this position and voted into this position, they do believe that you can do it. Pan-Afrikan Student Union do believe that you can do it and you can handle it. As you all know, and you always know that I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm sure you can still call Kavina. You can still call Bobby. You can still call Tanil. Yeah, Bobby will be here. He's going to be on campus. You know, Tanil and Kavina be graduated, but still call them. They'll be able to help you out, as well as Amy and Abby. Anthony's still going to be here, and Demetria. Call her. She'll be here next year. Call her.